All right. So next we are going to create a web service for creating and managing the IQR or the QR codes. So if we go to the public website like that, and we are going to create an interface, right, for our customers to be able to create new QR codes, and also when somebody scan the QR code, like this example we've done before, we are going to connect to our Apex web service to get the details of the QR code that was being scanned. So for example, somebody scanned, it will go to this URL, IQR, which we will define later. This will be a record ID, contact ID, and the org ID. We will hash them out, and then that will identify which QR code was scanned. And then we are going to create a PHP app on the public facing platform. So we are not going to create web pages or the public facing pages on the Salesforce platform. We are going to create it on Amazon Web Services. It will be a PHP app, and this PHP app will get the details of the QR code that is being scanned. What type is it? And then what is the greeting message? And who will be getting the alert when somebody scanned that QR code? So that's all being surfaced by the Apex web service, which we are going to create. Okay, so I'm going to close this. So to do that, I'm just going to develop everything using the developer console. We don't have to go through the Visual Code Studio because that will be if you're not familiar with that yet, it will be just harder for me to explain so that you can follow along. I have Visual Studio Code and Salesforce plugin there, but I'm going to develop using the developer console. So let's go ahead. So I'm going to make an Apex class, which is a web service class. Let's go ahead and do that for the IQR object. And I'm going to file. Can we crank this up a bit? Boom, boom, boom. Okay. File. New Apex class. Let's name this IQR service. Okay, I'm going to name it IQR service, new Apex class. Okay, so I'm going to code this a bit and then explain it to you, so we don't have to spend a lot of time coding together, which will waste everybody's time. I'm going to pause this and I'll get back to you when I finish a chunk of code. Okay, so we have a simple IQR service which will be exposed as a REST resource through this URL. So we have a few methods for the IQR service class. We have a create IQR, we have a delete IQR, and update IQR. Pretty simple, a few lines of codes, right? So we have a global class. It has to be global with sharing, so it can be exposed to the public. Okay, so this is to get the QR code, get IQR. So this will be handy if we are going to scan like this guy here. So it's scanned, right? Let's do the secure one. So HTTPS. So we don't have the insecure one. So as I said, this will be replaced with the actual ID for the QR, and we will grab it using the get method, the get IQR detail. So what do we want to get? Okay, so this is basically request, is a REST request. Okay, we're gonna do that, and then the IQR ID will be a string variable, and it will be the substring of this URL, which is whatever is put on this star afterwards, right after this URL. So then we are going to put the socle, the result, into the result variable, and then we are going to return it. Okay, we are going to return the result, or we can actually print it out. We want to print a JSON result so that our PHP service can parse it accordingly. I'll add that later. Yeah, we want to do that. So this is to create the IQR. We can pass the label, the response type. What is the label of the IQR? The response type, is it a chat, is it a button, a call forwarding, etc. And what is the greeting text, right? So we get these three parameters, and then we create a new IQR record. Same basic standard stuff. We're going to create that and insert that, and then we are going to return the ID of the newly created IQR. Same thing with delete. We select, we do a socle, and then we delete the IQR. Same thing with update. Now this we have a deserializing method here, and we're going to deserialize that, so we know what field that needs to be updated. Okay, we're going to do a real-time example through our PHP script, which we are going to build right now in this video. So that's pretty simple. This is our web service, and yeah, let's move on. I'm going to create a simple PHP script so that if we get this QR code here, if I say accounts, right? We have a sample account from the previous video. So if I get the IQR for, at the bottom here, for this one, IQR1, I want to get the greeting text, I want to get the response type, and I want to get the label. Okay, with these three parameters, we can build and display what will be displayed on our web interface, the public facing web interface. Okay, I'm going to create a simple PHP script, and I'm going to show you how it's going to work. Okay, so to proceed, we need to create a connected app so that we have the access to connect to our Salesforce org from our PHP application. Okay, so to do that, let's go ahead to set up again over here. We are going to create a connected app. Connected app would be under App Manager. So App Manager, then create connected app from here. So new connected app. I'm going to name this IQR.to web app. Okay, jimmy@zone.io. Okay, so we need the OAuth settings to be enabled, and the callback URL would be https iqr.to chat iqr.php. Okay, so the scopes, let's go full access. Okay, full access for the scope, and then require secret for web service flow, secret for refresh token flow, and I think I'm going to stay with the default there and save. Allow from 2 to 10 minutes for your changes to take effect on the server. That's fine. Okay, so we have the consumer key and consumer secret, which we will need for the authentication. Okay, so I'm going to copy my consumer key over here and head over to my PHP application. I'm going to put this as here, my consumer key, and I'm going to go back and get my consumer secret. I'm fine you seeing this because this is just for development, but once it's deployed, the whole security stuff that you're seeing is going to be changed. So back here, consumer secret here, and then my username is iqr2@zone.io, which is my username from here. If I pop this up and I go to users, I just want to show you my username is here, right? iqr2@zone.io, and I want to get my security token, which I don't think I have received it. I'm going to go to my name here and then settings, and I'm going to my security token. I have to reset this probably because I don't know what my security token was. I'm going to reset this. So once reset, I will have this in my email. So I'm not going to show it to you. I'm going to get it and paste it to my code here. Okay, so my password and my security token is going to be combined. So if it's password and then security token is like this. So for example, my security token is security token. So you combine it, your Salesforce login, the password for this user, put it password and security token. Okay, I'm not going to show you the real password, so I'm going to skip the part where I'm going to paste this, but I'm going to go back here and we are going to try this CURL and see if it grabs it, right? So I'm going to take this out as well. We're done with this. I'm going to save that. I'm going to check my email, put my credentials here, and then we're going to test it out together. Okay, so before we try it, I need to whitelist the domain, cross domain. Okay, I should be searching on the setup here, not the personal settings. Course, and I'm going to allow my domain, which is iqr.to. iqr.to, and it has to be HTTPS. Okay, so I'm going to, so this is the example. Okay, look at the example there. I'm going to save that. So done. That is now whitelisted. I'm also going to enable this for OAuth endpoints as well. Okay. Okay. So I have a little bit of hiccup because my PHP app were unable to connect to the Salesforce platform to get the data. So I fixed that. To do that, you have to go to the app here and then click manage, and make sure if you edit here, edit policies, make sure you change this to all users may self-authorize. Okay, and I also changed the IP restriction to relax IP restriction. Okay, that needs to be changed. And then I go also to network access here, and you have to whitelist your web server IP address. So this is my web server IP address. If I go to my terminal and I do ping iqr.to, right, and I will get this IP address, which is my web server's IP address. So I put this, I whitelist that. Now if I go here, I get the detail. The code is pretty simple. So I'm going to crank this up. So first you get the access token by using this command. So you put the credentials as I've shown you before. You need the secret key, consumer key, and then the consumer secret, and then your username, Salesforce username for your org, and the user access, which is your password and security token combined together as one line. Okay, so this CURL connection will get the access token, and I'm going to decode that JSON response. Basically, I get my access token, and I use this access token to access my Apex REST service. All right, so I get my access token, I put it here. So bearer access token, and then I want the pretty print, the JSON pretty print is true, yes. And this is my instance URL. How do you get this? So don't just copy paste. I'm just gonna, don't just copy paste this. It doesn't work. So I have to go to company information, and I have my instance here. What was it? NA here. Instance NA 162. Okay, I'm gonna crank this up. So instance NA North America 162. So that I am using on my PHP code here, NA 162. So that I can access my Apex REST service, IQR here, right? To actually get that data. So you can also test this with a workbench. I'm going to show you. If I go to workbench and log in here and go to utilities, REST Explorer. So basically, if I get the same Apex REST here, and I'm going to get this data, Apex REST services, I'm going to paste that and execute. See, I get the data for the IQR, label front door, greeting text, blah blah blah, right? This is the ID, which is the same thing as this website or web page here. So for example, if I change my IQR over here and bada bing, bada boom, what's up, dude? And I save this, and let's change the response type to buttons. Okay, I'm going to save that. Is it saved? I think so. It's saved, right? Let's minimize this a bit so it's not looking weird. So if I refresh that, boom, bada bing, bada boom. What's up, dude? And now it's buttons. So we can play this and display the correct interface based on the QR that is being grabbed. Okay, so basically this is the whole thing, the whole connection stuff. We will be creating codes on the PHP part to create new QR codes, delete QR codes, update QR codes, update the details from the user interface, and create contacts to alert. And basically, this is the wire, the framework on how stuff is connected, and we will build on from here. Pretty exciting, right? Alright, so I'll see you in the next video where we will add more stuff to our code. I want to be able to create or generate new QR code from here, and then we are going to be able to update QR codes and delete QR codes. Okay, that will be on the next video. I'll see you on the next video. Bada bing, bada boom. Hit that subscribe button and explore new Trailhead grounds and learn to implement the most useful and popular apps on the Salesforce App Exchange. And do yourself a favor, like this video, and you'll be surprised on how much more you understand when watching this same video after liking it. Don't take my word. Watch this one more time after you like the video and see it for yourself. Bada bing, bada boom.